Here's one for you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He said, ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. What do you think? Would that work? I mean, imagine if I went up to a woman today and I said, ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, you think she would automatically fall in love with me? I don't know. I'd like to try it and see what happens. Folks, let me know. If someone came up to you and did that, if you understood the reference, maybe you'd smile and laugh and get it. And if you didn't understand the reference, what the heck would you do? And the reference is, of course, this is a song called The Witch Doctor. It's a, funny song from way back when, comedy song. Anyway, welcome, folks, to Counselor's Couch 101. A perennial theme in counseling sessions, as personal relationships, is how to get a mate, how to get a life mate, a soul mate, a life partner, and like that. That is often a discussion I have with people. And we go into other issues, etc. We always come back to that because it's so important to everyone to have someone in their lives, some reason to be doing the things they do, building something up for and sharing with, and etc. To have someone, a partner in our lives, it's important. So I understand why people are concerned about it and want to talk about it. There was a stand-up comedian once, I'm thinking it was probably Henny Youngman, if any of you remember Henny Youngman, but maybe it wasn't him. He said he knew the cause of divorce: marriage. Now, you might think, well, that's kind of ridiculous, but of course it's true. And if you start to analyze it, which, by the way, I like to analyze humor and songs because there's a lot of wisdom in it when you stop and think about it. There's a wisdom down below and underneath sometimes than just the surface presentation. So the idea that divorce is caused by marriage. Now, let's take that and expand it one or two steps further. Divorce is caused by poor marriages, right? Now, how do we arrive at a poor marriage? Because if we have a good marriage, we don't need divorce. We need to develop that relationship. And it becomes a very a foundation for our being in the world and in our lives, right? So it's the idea of divorce is caused by a poor choice of partner. If we back that up a little bit, that's where that comes from. I mean, the idea, in my mind, that's how I connect the dots, is that we made the wrong choice. Now, why the heck did we make the wrong choice? Well, a lot of times, oftentimes people can fool themselves into thinking that they found a partner because they're at a point in their life where they want a family, they want children, and they think, well, maybe this person will do. They think it'll be enough. What happens is, in those kinds of choices, if it's not truly a soulmate and someone that you really want to spend your time with, if it's not a best friend for you, oftentimes within 5 years, you've got 3 kids and you hate each other, because all the little stuff begins to annoy. When someone's in your personal space, you're living under the same roof, and etc., it intensifies all the negativity, right? And if you got a good relationship, it should intensify all the goodness, and that's what we hope everybody has. But if you've chosen poorly, it intensifies all the negative parts of that relationship. And after a while, they become unbearable, and we start snipping at each other, and the relationship slowly just deteriorates and builds walls and becomes something miserable, and we can't wait to get out of it. So the idea is to pick the right person, or to pick a right person. I've mentioned this before, but there were times when people had marriages without love, marriages of convenience, because they needed a partner or wanted a family, whatever. And so they would agree to marry someone. And as long as they stuck to their agreement, those relationships could work. I know I don't love you, but we're going to do these things together. And if that holds up over time, right, that can work. And it can actually grow into something positive in your life. But you've got to have that mindset that you've made a vow, you've made a promise, you've made a deal, and you're going to stick with it. And you're going to work things out, right? A lady I talked to once, I think I mentioned this several times, she said, the whole thing's easy. She said, pick someone you love and then work out all the rest. And I think that is very wise, right? Pick someone you love. That's the prerequisite. Pick someone you love, not someone who just happens to be standing there, and that person is convenient for now. That person will agree to marry you. You don't want to pick that person necessarily. And I wonder, because the divorce rate is so high and so many people are so unhappy, and that unhappiness affects the children of those relationships. That's what concerns me a lot. I keep thinking, shouldn't we just wait for that partner to show up in our lives, or somehow find that person, someone who's going to be a good match for us, someone who's going to enhance our lives, and we can do the same for them? Shouldn't we wait for that? And then if we have fewer children in life, let's say we get married a little bit later and don't have any children at all, is that preferable to having children in a loveless relationship in which you're bickering and fighting? Maybe it'd bring down the population of the globe and like that, and who knows, maybe that'd be a good thing. So these are just things that I think about when people come to me and they start talking about relationships. I've had people in the past come in and ask me how to tear somebody away from their partner or their spouse in order for that person who's asking me how to do it can have that person. And I keep thinking that's a bad thing to do. I'm not thinking about morally or ethically or anything like that. I'm thinking that I'm not sure it's going to produce a good relationship. If you could pull that person away from a partner, then that person can be pulled away from you as well. You don't have any guarantees of success if you go at the relationship in that way. If you pull them from someone, it may be resented over time. All sorts of negativity attached to that kind of thing. So, but the other thing is, it's like, how do we find that perfect person? And people go on dating apps and they just tell me how strenuous it is, how depressing it is, how much energy and time it takes, how much they hate doing it, right? I have heard success stories with online dating apps. I have, but they've been few and far between. Everybody else hates them. But they say that's what's going on now. There is no other way to meet somebody these days. So therefore, we have to go along with the program that is in our current culture, right? I keep thinking the best way to meet people that you're going to really get along with is to do it organically. Just live your life, right? Do the things you like to do, and you're going to meet people that like to do the kinds of things you like to do, and you have a better chance for finding a mate that's going to enhance your life and you theirs, right? So, but if we don't believe in that, maybe we should start chanting things like, let's look at something else that's in this particular song. By the way, I got to tell you, I don't have to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. When I was about 12 years old, I used to read music books, right? Books, thick books full of songs and sheet music and all that, and I would read the lyrics. I don't know why. I just wanted to understand the whole idea of writing and creating lyrics and so forth. I'd read them. I read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs and books and stuff, just studying the lyrics. This one says, "You've been keeping love from me just like you were a miser. And I'll admit I wasn't very smart." There's wisdom in there. Person wasn't loving, and the person singing the song wasn't picking up on the fact that that person didn't love you. All right? So I went out and found myself a guy that's so much wiser, and he taught me the way to win your heart. You sure you want to win this heart that doesn't love you? This heart that doles out affection like a miser? You sure you want that? I talk to people, and they often bring up the subject of affection. They say, my partner is not affectionate. We haven't touched each other in a long time. We don't kiss anymore. We don't hug. They probably have sex every now and then. Sometimes they have it a lot, but they don't have any affection, right? So why would you want to go out and get this person to fall in love with you when this person has no affection for you, right? My friend the witch doctor, he told me what to say. My friend the witch doctor, he taught me what to do. I know that you'll be mine when I say this to you, oh baby. Then we're back to ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. I'd like to try that, seriously, see if it works. But in the meantime, is there magic for finding that person? This is kind of what it says, right? I'm going to bring you another song next episode, I think. But is there a kind of magic to finding your partner? Should we go off and chant these words? Would that bring the partner to us? People say that we project impressions out into the universe with the power of our mind, right? Sort of like a radio. Radio sends out a signal, and the person that's supposed to be in our lives will pick up that signal and gravitate toward us. Maybe that's the process by which it actually does work and is successful. I'm not sure. But should we chant? We chant for a partner? How is it supposed to be done? I know a few weeks ago a lady said that a man should wait for a woman to show interest before he goes up to her and talks to her. Well, that sounds right, but then a whole lot of women out there saying they want a man who's confident. They want a man who'll walk up and say hello to them and sort of take charge of meeting them, right? And getting to know them. I think we should take a long, slow time to get to know each other before we start making up our mind to ask someone to be our partner for life. But so I have all these conflicting bits of ideas out there. Some people say guys should be confident. Other people say they should hang back and wait for the woman to show interest. I guess it depends on the people, doesn't it? You know, different strokes for different folks. What works for you is the right thing to do. That rhymes. Maybe that should be a song. Anyway, how do we meet that person? How do we make sure that it's the right person and we're not going to end up in a divorce? Well, let's try this for a week and see if it works, right? We're all going to chant, or if you know the song, you can sing it. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Thanks for stopping by. Have a blessed day.